Well, hello guys. This is Donna from Flavors with a Twist. And how are my flavor twisters doing today? I hope that you're doing well. What I'm going to show you today, guys, is how I prep my greens before I cook them. Now, as you can see in front of you, I have 3 bags of collard greens here, and I have 2 bags of kale. I love kale and collard greens mixed together. And these are 1-pound bags. I start buying my greens like this, guys. I used to do it the old school way, and it just took such a long time to clean them, to cut them, to do everything to these. But now, with this process, you buy them like this, and let me show you. You open the bag. I have a colander here. I just want to show you before I clean these. And see how they come? Now these are the collards. I'm just taking a few out. And look at this, guys. They're nice, crisp greens. And they're already cut. And I usually leave them like this because that way I like a nice amount of greens. Now you will see little stems and stuff like this in the bag. I usually take those out. If it's a lot of them, you can leave 1 or 2 in. But I usually like to take them out. So that way you won't have a whole pot full of stems. But most of the time, as you can see, you might have a piece of green with a stem in between it like that. You can leave that, or you can just pull it out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do each one of these bags. I'm going to clean these in some salt water, put a little vinegar in it. And all you have to do, guys, is just rinse these until the water runs clear. Just wash them about, I'll do it like 3 times. I'll put them in the water, swish them around, put them back in a colander or pot or whatever, and then I'll do it again. And I usually do that 3 times to make sure nothing's on them, but I haven't found any dirt or anything's on these when I use these greens. So this is a quick way of doing it, guys. Like I said, Flavors with a Twist is about getting in and out the kitchen. And let me show you how the kale looks. And I usually get 2 bags of kale and 3 bags of collards for my family. Look at this, guys. Yum. And they're nice, and look how nice and fluffy they are. And you can just, do the same thing. Like if you see 1 or 2 stems in that bag, just take them out. You don't have to leave them in. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to clean these greens, and I'm going to show you how I wilt my greens down before I cook them. Because you can imagine these, once all 5 of these bags get in a pot, if I try to put them in a pot, they're not going to fit. They're not going to fit. So what I'm going to do is clean these, and I'll be back on camera. It's not going to take me long. Probably about a half an hour to clean these, maybe. Because, like I said, they're not dirty, but they tell you on the bag that they're already clean. I don't trust it. I'd like to do my own process. So I'm going to rinse these greens real good, guys, clean them. And I will be back to show you how I wilt them down. And I usually do this a few days before I cook them. So the Labor Day is coming up. So what I'm doing, I usually buy my greens and I prepare them, clean them, and I wilt them down. So when I get ready to cook them, I could put them in my pressure cooker with the meat and just let them go, season them. Greens are done. The worst thing I can do is have people coming in my house and I'm in the kitchen cleaning some greens. So that's why I'm doing this video. A few people has asked me what my process was. So let me get these greens clean, guys, and I'll be back. Okay, guys, I'm back. And these are the 3 bags of collards. I got 1.5 bags in each bowl here. And they have been cleaned and rinsed. And now over here, let me show you. I have 2 cups of water boiling. And I put a little bit of salt in it, like a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to start adding these greens to the pot. Okay, I'm gonna add some in, and we're going to let them wilt down, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. So you can imagine with these and the kale greens also, they would not fit. And this is the process I use before I cook my greens. And that way they'll all fit in my pressure cooker with no problem. Okay, so what you do, you just let these go for a minute. And let me get up top here. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I'll just put that lid on there and just let them wilt down. I'll turn the fire up, and you'll see once they start, the water gets to boiling up real good, you'll see how the greens will start wilting. And what I usually do, I just, every few minutes or so, just turn them. And then you'll see the difference once they start wilting down. Okay, let's give it a few minutes. Okay, guys, as you can see that they're wilting down some. And you just take your spoon and just stir them around. And they will shrink. This is a leaf, so. Okay. And I do this with all of my greens. Now, I like to do this, like I said, a day or two ahead of time. And I will put these greens in like a Ziploc bag. And that way, when it's time to cook them, I just pull them out. Now, if you do them, now like around Christmas, what I do around the holidays times, I fix a lot of food. So what I'll do this like a week ahead of time, put them in a Ziploc bag, let them cool down. And I will put them in the freezer until it's time to cook them. And that tenderizes them also. So, now see how they're doing? Okay. So I'm going to let these wilt a little bit more. And I'll put the next batch in. Now, this is 1.5 bags. And look at it. So you can imagine once I do the other 1.5 bags. And then do the kale greens, it's enough. Perfect. So that took about 5 minutes altogether. Now what I'm going to do is take these greens out. And I'm using this here utensil that way because I don't want to drain all the pot liquor out. Here we go. Look at that, guys. And I'll start adding the other. And that's the process that I use, guys. And believe me, it saves so much time. You're in and out that kitchen in no time. And like I said, all you have to do is get your meat cooked that you're going to put in your greens. Now, usually I use a ham shank, but if you want to use turkey, you can. I used to use ham hocks, but I prefer the ham shank because then I don't have to worry about that skin from the ham hocks. So with the ham shank, you do not have the skin. It's just meat. And you will see the difference when that ham shank gets done and it breaks up and you got nice big pieces of ham all through your greens. So what I'm going to do now is add the other collards. And that'll be all of the collards. And I'll do the same thing to the kale. Okay. And you see it was still water in the pot. You don't have to add more. And the greens are wet too. And these are a leaf, guys, so they hold water. And that's why I use this process. I put vinegar and water in my vinegar and salt in my greens when I clean them. Never use soap. I don't knock people that do, but I don't because greens is a leaf and it will hold the detergent. So trust me on this, guys. I don't even know where that process came from. So I'm going to put the lid on this and let these finish wilting. And I'll show you what to do next. Okay, guys, I am back. Now, this is all 3 bags of the collard greens. As you can see the steam coming off. They're still hot. So what I do, I take a Ziploc bag, open that, and I start putting the greens in. And I'll do the same thing with the kale. I'll have a bag of kale and a bag of collards. Because you can put these all in one bag once they wilt down. That's the purpose of wilting them. Okay? And you'll have a nice amount of greens. Because greens, they're not going to shrink too much more than, they'll shrink a little bit more than this, but not much. So you can just about tell how many greens you'll have. Okay. And I'm putting them in the bag. And I always, like I said, guys, the easy way of getting in and out the kitchen, especially if you're feeding a lot of folks, is to prepare ahead of time, prep. And that's what this is. It's meal prep. Okay. And that's like, I'm going to make potato salad. I usually make that the night before my meal. But the day before that, I'll cut up my onions and peppers or whatever I'm going to put in it. Okay, now look at that, guys. Yum. Now these are the collards, and I'm going to do the same thing with the kale. And I'll leave a little bit of air, leaving, open a little bit. And I'll just let them sit there until they cool down before I freeze them. So that's it, guys. And I'm doing the same thing with the kale. And then, like I said, all you have to do is cook your meat, prepare your meat, and then add your greens and things and your seasoning. And I will be showing you a video in a couple of days how I do my greens, how I season my greens and cook them. So what I wanted to do is come on here and show you the preparation of the greens before you cook them. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. And I'll see you in a few days when we cook these greens. But after they cool off, I'm going to put them in the freezer. I'm going to do the same thing for the kale. So I will have 2 bags. See you then. This is Donna from Flavors with a Twist. Bye.